Hi, everybody. This is Vic at phoneBlogger.net. Looking forward to bringing you another screen share webinar, this time around website best practices. And in case you didn't attend the live webinar, I'm doing a summary session here to quickly go through some of the main points of website best practices, as well as some of the minor points that not only affect search engine optimization, but also word of mouth referrals, as well as even social media sharing when it comes to your website and its related marketing. Then on Friday, September 28th, we'll actually go into email marketing, how to build up your email list, how to use subject lines to affect its results positively, as well as best practices for images and open rates and click metrics and other ways to measure the efficacy of your email newsletters and related email marketing. While it doesn't receive the same amount of hype and attention as websites or even social media, email marketing is extremely effective. After all, more people check more email more times a day, more than any other social media combined, from millennials who are in their mid to late 20s at this point, who may be very text message oriented or image oriented when it comes to Instagram and other sites. Nonetheless, email and their inbox is central to their professional development, as well as even to some extent in their personal lives. So email is still central for those young and those seasoned in their 30s, 40s, 50s, etc. So email newsletters affects all of us, and hopefully you can do it in a better way to get better results for your practice. Today we're going to be talking about website best practices. You'll see here in blue some of the main points that we'll discuss about forms, about videos, about social proof, mobile and ADA compliance, as well as some other points that I'll make along the way. So first, let's kind of look at the world of forms. I'll use our website as an example, but I'll use other examples as well. In retail, there's a saying, location, location, location. Location is everything when it comes to retail. And when it comes to website marketing, it's forms, forms, forms. Quite frankly, you don't know who is on your website, and there's no way to remarket to them, to market to them again, unless they fill out a form, a contact form. With certain types of analytics tools like Google Analytics or WordPress metrics, we're able to see the keywords that people type in to get to your website. We're able to see from where in the world and the country they are when they come to your website. Potentially, we can even see from a heat map perspective. There are tools where, based on cursor movement and how long it takes to scroll, that we can create a heat map of where people are browsing and what they are trying to click on or what they're not clicking on. However, the only way to really capture someone's information is to literally capture their information using a form. And there are going to be different types of form. My partner, Mark Bullock, calls some things an ethical bribe, where you're offering an ebook or access to other content, a report, and in exchange for, at the very least, their email address. Then there are things that are like email, newsletter, subscription forms, but it could be a form to stay up to date with blog posts or blog articles, other insights. There could be other updates and news and developments while you're giving these forms. And these forms, I would say, should be on every page of your website somewhere, perhaps performing a different function. Some websites do a pop-up when you come to a website. I find that a bit invasive and annoying from a usability standpoint. It's also not that very effective because people like to just exit out and get up on their browsing. It's kind of like walking into a retail store and someone immediately coming up to you, can I help you find something? And immediately was like, oh no, I'm just looking. Even if you're actually looking for something, we tend to wave that away. So exit pop-ups tend to be very effective, where as people are about to exit, they're about to go back to a Google search result or exit the browser itself or the browser tab, a pop-up will appear based on those types of cursor movements. and you kind of gotta grab them right as they leave. So that may be effective. Um, but if you have a website on a WordPress platform, a lot of these forms are native to that platform, so it's really easy to use that. Plus, there are plugins to make forms even more effective on WordPress. Likewise, with sites like Squarespace. If you're on a different type of website platform or unsure of what you're on, just email me, Vic at phoneblogger.net, VIK at phoneblogger.net, and I can guide you in the right direction. Everything that I'm going to be talking about today is relatively simple for you to add or improve to your website. Probably does not require a website redesign. We don't do website design. So I could recommend some of the people that we work with and some of our clients have been really happy with, but we don't do it in-house. So everything I'm talking about today is building up this foundation of this infrastructure of your website in order to then use it for word-of-mouth referrals. And then next, I would show videos. Of course, you're seeing one video here. If you scroll down, you'll see 4 other videos on our site. But let's kind of see a working example from a member that I'm sure most of you know, Andrew Samlin. So here I just got into Andy's website, and I'll enter this part of his site, the SDF part, and I come here, and there's a wonderful hero image. He is the hero of his firm, but we call it hero image in the business of marketing. And there are a variety, and here are his staff and other advisors, part of the firm. And then if I click here, it brings up a form. So the immediate call to action of what he wants people to do is to fill out that form so that they can then speak by phone or by face. And that's kind of the main thing to do. Now I can kind of scroll other areas and see, I don't see a video here. These are just still images. But if I go perhaps into services to kind of better understand what it is the firm does, here in fact we see a video. And if you haven't taken the time to watch Andy's video, definitely do so. Of course, you know what he does, but it's also good to see it from a marketing standpoint. These are professionally produced videos. These aren't off-the-cuff video blogs that can be very effective in its own right, but these are well-scripted, well-manicured website videos that really talk about different aspects of his firm. He has a number of them on his site, peppered around his website. A great use of video to really bring it out. Video is an extremely efficient way of not only communicating content, but also expressing who you are, who your firm is, your values, your personality, how you care. You know, there's a saying, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's sometimes hard and difficult to really express by text alone. But video is able to enable you to express yourself and express your caring, express your passion for your field, let alone your expertise. So that's why video is so engaging. And we know that all the major social media platforms are embracing video more so than ever. And we know the power of what YouTube can do, especially when it comes to Google search results, because of course, Google owns YouTube. So, you know, without belaboring why video is so effective, it's really you thinking about how are you utilizing video on your website. There are these kind of professionally done videos with a camera. There are these kind of animation style videos that kind of keep it simple. That may or may not be the right approach. But then more and more firms are choosing to use Facebook Live video and other types of video blogs where they are using their smartphone, using the webcam of their laptop, and recording short soundbite type videos, knowledge nuggets. Like a blog post should be read within 3 to 5 minutes, same way a video blog would kind of be in that 3-minute mark. So there are a variety of ways to even utilize slide decks, a PowerPoint presentation, and an audio to really create a video that way. So there are a variety of options of how you can utilize video. The first question is, are you doing anything when it comes to video? And let's say, for example, the Northern Westchester Collaborative Divorce website. If we come here, while I'm not seeing any forms, I'm not seeing any video per se. If I click here, I can see a number of professionals, of course, like Andy, for example, Melissa here. If I click Melissa and Justice there, I come here and I see a great form. But I wonder if this form is really necessary when I have Melissa's contact information right here. I can pretty much contact Melissa directly. Why do I need to fill out a form? Same thing here. Jeff's contact information is already here. Why do I need to fill out a form? So that's a real question mark. Think about. But while we're here, we're thinking about in the news. The next area that we would talk about is a buzzword, a buzz phrase called social proof. Now, social proof in the simplest form is testimonials, and we'll look for testimonials, but also media is a way of giving social proof, meaning evidence that you're credible, legitimate, and sought after, and the right go-to professional. So here, for example, is in the news, but this is back from March of 2018. We're closing in on the 2018 year, going into 2019. I'm sure there are many members who have been in the news in terms of peer media, trade publications like that, as well as mainstream media, perhaps. And of course, we all create our own news when it comes to being on podcast or having a blog, a video blog, etc. So from that aspect, we could definitely update that. If we go to Andy's site, we don't see much by way of testimonials, and that could be a variety of compliance and privacy issues. We do see a press area here. Take a second for that to load up. And of course, that could be updated because I know he's had some press, I'm sure, in the past couple of years. And so you kind of think about how are you using the media? How are you using testimonials? If we come over to phoneBlogger, what are we doing here in terms of social proof? Here are some of the associations where we've presented, media that have published us. If we scroll down, talk a little bit about some of the key numbers or metrics. We also feature clients that we've published recently in the past couple of days. So, we try our best also to kind of bring out social proof by way of talking about our clients, showcasing our clients. Now, there may be aspects of privacy and compliance obligations in your field. So there are testimonials you could utilize, if not from clients, but from colleagues who can attest, maybe not necessarily to your competency, but they can definitely attest to your character, your goodwill, the leadership that you showcase in your profession, being active, bringing up not only your own firm, but the field at large. And that provides you social proof, your membership organizations, how you're active in the field, let alone where you've been quoted by the media and other seminars are also social proof. And that kind of shows from a marketing standpoint. Now, shifting gears, social proof helps tremendously on social media. It helps tremendously when it comes to search engine results because all those places that you're being quoted are also different search results. Speaking of which, you may want to open up a tab and look at your website and kind of see if you're utilizing forms, if you're utilizing videos, if you're utilizing social proof on your own website. And you could also grab your cell phone now and go ahead and Google yourself and your name at first and see what pops up in terms of Google search results. And then you should then go ahead and Google your firm name and see what pops up in terms of search results. And then you should also then go directly to your website and see how mobile ready your website is. It's the easiest way. So let's talk about some of the terminology when it comes to mobile access. There's a phrase of mobile friendly versus mobile responsive. Mobile friendly basically means your website as is relatively usable when it comes to a tablet, an iPad, or your cell phone. Now, mobile responsiveness is really what Google looks for. That's something you would probably see on your online banking, and if you have a WordPress website and the theme is from the past couple of years, or you've updated in the past, let's say 2-3 years at the outset, most likely in the year or two, your website most likely is already going to be mobile responsive. What does that mean? The website itself changes its format. It changes how it looks when you get onto a mobile platform. So it may be a stripped down version, the menu may be simpler, the text is going to be a lot more focused for that mobile platform. Don't get alarmed or scared if any kind of website designer is telling you that unless you're mobile responsive, you will not be indexed by Google. It's just simply not true. Now, it is true that Google is prioritizing those who are mobile responsive, and if the website is not mobile responsive, they are starting to drop those listings from their mobile search results. So if you are Googling something on your cell phone, they're not going to show your web site as a result if it's not mobile responsive, which can be extremely major since more and more search is being done on iPads and cell phones. So from that aspect, that's extremely important to note the mobile responsiveness. In fact, it all kind of started on April 2015. I believe it was April 21st. That was dubbed Mobile Get-In. And you can kind of Google the phrase Mobile Get-In to read more about that. But it's easy to kind of look at in terms of site speed as well as how your website is operating. I go over here to this page speed. You can hear very quickly. Let's see here. Here this is the website address. It's relatively easy to get to, and here you can type in your website address, and it'll very quickly analyze how good your website is in terms of desktop as well as mobile speed as well as mobile responsiveness. So it's a great tool for you to use when it comes to mobile access, not only in terms of mobile responsiveness but also mobile speed, since more of us are checking and using smartphones and iPads to access websites. Talking about responsiveness and other types of compliance, 2018 has really become the year of web accessibility, especially those with any kind of sight impairment, so that those who are either blind, partially blind, or have any kind of sight issues are able to access your website and gain and glean information from it. What does that mean? It basically means that if you do have any kind of images on your website, that they have text behind it, so that those types of website readers are able to read and understand what the image is. So if you're going to research that, this is something that you would work with your website designer, but this is what I'm talking about in terms of alternate text, as well as the image description and the image title. So those three things, the alt text, the description, and the image title. That type of information is text within the HTML code, the behind the scenes, under the bonnet, under the roof aspects of your website. Stuff that you probably can't see easily, but your website designer can very easily access. And you go into any kind of page source of a website and start looking at the code of the website and start looking at that. Now, you don't necessarily need to do that, but it's something to work with your website developers on to make sure that all of your images are accessible to website readers for those with sight impairments. Now, there are other aspects of ADA, disability accessibility, when it comes to your website. It's hard to kind of know all of it. There are plenty of checklists, etc. But if you go to webaccessibility.com, it's one of the many web accessibility checklists and checkers that you can use to very quickly type in your website address and then run a quick test. And I did one for me, and now we're not 100%. So that's something to take a look at, and basically talks about some of the things that we can be fixing in terms of there's some images that don't have alternative text even on our website. That's something that I'll be taking a look at, but it brings it up very, very quickly for us to now fix. So there may be new images that you haven't attended to. There are only 3 of those such images, but that should be 0, quite frankly. There's no reason for it to be 3, even though there are many, many images that are accessible. So those are things to take a look at in terms of ADA compliance and accessibility. But then there are some of the minor issues when it comes to website marketing that I'll talk about. While minor in the sense of website best practices, they are very quickly becoming standards. So one of the things to take a look at is how secure your website is. Security, of course, is very important from the infrastructure standpoint, hackers and the like, in terms of information. Now, you may think to yourself, well, you're not housing any data on your website. Why is that important? Well, hackers and the like can use your website as ground base to strike other sites. So, of course, you want to prevent that from happening. And then, of course, just you want to make sure you have right access to your own website so that there isn't any kind of vulgarity or any kind of misinformation on your website. But from a marketing standpoint, um, security will end up enabling you to have an HTTPS web address, the SSL certification of your website address. It's very easy to be SSL certified. You're essentially enabling your host to ensure that, and you're going to pay anywhere from $30 to $60 or so a year. So if you work with GoDaddy or Bluehost or Network Solutions, etc., most likely they're going to be able to take care of it for you once you do the payment, and they'll review the site, make sure it's secure, and then provide you an HTTPS. Now, why is that important from a marketing standpoint? Well, from a Google search results, very similar to how they are prioritizing mobile responsive sites. Google is prioritizing those sites that are secure. In fact, I've seen situations where my own Gmail will bring up a warning if a link within an email is going to a non-HTTPS link, an unsecure link, and they give me a very rather inflammatory warning against clicking that link. Now, I trusted the web address, so I said okay, but if I didn't know what it was, I think that's a major deterrent to the average lay person. So from that aspect, we'll talk a little bit about that in the next session about email marketing, email newsletters. But from a web practices standpoint, things like security and SSL certification is affecting your marketing. So it's one of those quick fix things to do right away is to get the SSL certification for HTTPS for all the right reasons in terms of infrastructure, as well as the right reasons when it comes to the marketing efficacy of your website to make sure it's found and to make sure that people are safe, of course, on your website. The other aspect to take a look at are the social media icons of your website. One thing I noticed as I was kind of preparing the notes was that it was great that you have here on this website social media icons. These ideally would be the Facebook page for the Northern Westchester Collaborative Divorce Group. This would be the Twitter and the LinkedIn. But what I noticed on the lower left-hand corner, you can see the actual website. Actually, it does not go to the Facebook page or group for the association. It actually just goes to Facebook, or it just goes to, in this case, to Twitter or to just LinkedIn. It doesn't go to the LinkedIn group or LinkedIn page for the association or anyone's profile. And then I think there was just a mistake. Whereas Andy has it well, where it goes to his Facebook channel and the LinkedIn company page for SIC and Facebook page and onward. And that, of course, necessitates you to be active on social media. The last thing you want to do is link to a Facebook page that hasn't had any posts since, let's say, 2016. Or you go to a LinkedIn profile that hasn't been updated, or a YouTube channel, likewise, that's kind of a ghost town. Sending someone to a ghost town will backfire and delegitimize you. It's the opposite of social proof. So why bother? So if you're not active on those social media sites, don't link to them. Now, of course, coming from this marketing world, I would say be active. There are opportunities for you to stay top of mind with clients, prospective clients, referral relationships, and other influencers when you are active on these social media sites. We talked a little bit in previous sessions about what to do in terms of posting on LinkedIn, but then there are other social media that you can target depending on your demographic. But LinkedIn is great from a peer-to-peer word-of-mouth referral standpoint. But you don't need to be active on social media in order to take advantage of its results. So one aspect is linking to your social media sites, but another is to enable people to share your site more easily on their social media sites. And that's very often and very commonly found on blog posts. So if we go to one of his blog posts, click this, right? And here we can see these are icons where we can share this post on social media. So if I click this doesn't go to his Facebook page or my Facebook erroneously, but rather it enables me to share this post on my Facebook feed. It's sort of irrelevant whether or not Andy is active on his Facebook, personally or professionally. It really enables me to share this post on my Facebook feed. And whether or not I want to share this article is sort of irrelevant, but I'm able to also do the same thing in terms of sharing on LinkedIn. If he included an image in the article, it would appear here too, which makes it that much more social media friendly. But nonetheless, these types of social share icons, as it's called, um, I'm a bigger fan of, a bigger proponent of, because it, uh, again, de-necessitates you of being active on social media because, quite frankly, your clients, your prospective clients, your referral relationships, other influencers are active on social media. Don't you want to be able to access their circle of influence? Their inner circle trusts their shares, trust their recommendations, their referrals. And when they are posting your articles on their social media, they are tacitly referring you. They are promoting you to their inner circle. That's extremely valuable. You could also have icons to email. Native to WordPress is also a print icon where enabling people to print the page while not literally a social media share. It's good old-fashioned social media, someone printing it and handing the piece of paper to someone else. So those are things to kind of think about in terms of how to utilize social media share icons. And that's kind of gives you about 5 or 6 different things to implement and improve when it comes to your website marketing. So hopefully this was useful. I look forward to answering your questions. If there's anything here that you're confused about in terms of utilizing the tools or how to improve your website easily without redesigning it, I'd be happy to take a look at your website, give you some insights, recommend website designers or what to ask your current website designer to kind of get it done very efficiently, low-cost way, very quickly. These are things that can be done literally within weeks. Shoot me an email, Vic, V-I-K, at phoneBlogger.net. And then next time we'll go into the world of email newsletters and how to stay top of mind with your clients, your prospective clients, referral relationships, and other types of influencers in one of the simplest channels, but very often overlooked, the world of email marketing. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.